What you focus on, you find. That is not only what we're going to talk about today, but it is the truth. And I'll get to that here shortly. Welcome to the Daily Voiceover Huddle here on the Voiceover Blueprint YouTube channel, the number one YouTube channel, voiceover related YouTube channel on the planet. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voiceover talent, voiceover career coach, and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint. And we're running a special deal on that. It'll get you from 0 to full-time as quickly as possible. So you can get the audiobook, the digital copy, and 4 free gifts for less than $10 in the link below. And chime in on the chat. We're going to do some shout outs here shortly. And also don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as quickly as possible. All right, let's talk about what you focus on, you find. So with any new venture, whether it's a hobby or in voiceover, science tells us that what you focus on, you find, meaning that if you direct your attention to something and become, and be all in on something, you will become that something. And here's an example. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever looked for maybe a new car and you were thinking about buying a new car, and then all of a sudden, as you're driving around, you start seeing a lot of that car that you've been thinking about? That is kind of the same thing. Your attention is automatically drawn to things where before you wouldn't have even noticed that thing. So when starting in voiceover, you have to be all in. You have to be eye on the prize 100% of the time, focused, tunnel vision, whatever you want to call it, on the thing, whatever that thing is. And this is not some, woo woo, you have to manifest your destiny. It's not that. It's science. When you actually focus your attention on something, the chances of you being successful at it are so much higher. So what you focus on, you find, but also what you focus on, you eventually become. It's where that attention is directed is where you're going to go. That's just natural for humans, no matter what the topic is or what the challenge is. I can even talk about my skateboarding career. When I found skateboarding, I was all consumed by it. It was one of the very first things that I loved. I loved it. And it was something that I could not get my mind off of. So, because of that, I focused all my attention into it, and I started to get better and better and better because it was all I could think about. Now, later, skateboarding, voiceover, whatever, later, once you've become that thing, then it's okay to kind of, you can kind of spread your attention around. But at the beginning, if you want to be successful at this, especially if you want to be successful quickly, you have to be 100% focused, eye on the prize. What you focus on, you find and or become. So when I first started or got back into voiceover after a break, I bought the Blueprint, which is our flagship training program here, and I inhaled that thing. It was all I could think about, all I could do. I just, I was watching every module, learning as much as I could. I just absorbed it. And it happened very quickly for me. So that's what you have to do. If you just kind of nibble around the edges, the chances of you being successful go way, way down. It may eventually happen, if you just take a little piece here and there. But if you want to make a go at this thing, you have to be all in. All right. And that is, like I said, it's not woo woo. It's not manifestation and all that kind of stuff. It's science. This has been proven. This will happen if you put all your focus into it. And there you go. What you focus on, you find. Speaking of focus and absorbing content, don't forget about the live training event by our expert Mary Weiss, who is a pay-to-play expert. She is going to teach us all about how to win on pay-to-play sites. That's coming up a week from yesterday, the 25th of March, and she is going to blow our minds. I hope, like I said the other day, I hope she's gonna change my mind about about pay-to-plays and, how to win on those because up until this point, I've not been a big fan of pay-to-plays, but she's been doing this for over a decade and making six figures primarily on pay-to-plays. So she's gonna show us all the ropes on how she does it. So can't wait for that. Also, a link for that is in the chat, or I'm sorry, in the description below if you wanna jump into that. It's selling so fast, so you need to get in there if you don't wanna miss out. Oh, and by the way, some people have asked me, the replay is always available on all of these live, expert training events that we have every month. All of the replays are always available. So if you can't make the live event, don't worry because it's recorded and you can always watch it later. Okay? So there you go. Let's go talk to the people on the chat. There's Mark from Montreal. He was first in today. Welcome, Mark. There's Kathleen from Evanston, Wyoming. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, Evanston, Wyoming. Edward says howdy from Jax, Florida. And there's Sarah from Destin. Corey J. from Whitehall, Wisconsin. Emmy Dahl from North Phoenix. Jason, good morning from Kearney, Nebraska. There's Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. Callie from Pasco. John from Denver. There's Mary from New Jersey. Mary's our teacher for Thursday nights, our performance webinar in the VoiceOver Blueprint. Every Thursday night, she teaches a performance class, and she rules at it. So thank you, Mary. There's JJ Holland from Minnesota. Thomas says, I want the new Model Y. Well, look around. You'll probably find plenty of them. Or is it Tomas? I guess it's Tomas. Sorry about that. Tomas says, I want the new Model Y. Andrew from Latvia. Dale says, maybe I should focus on a lottery win from West Sussex, UK. Well, hey, who am I to squash somebody's dream, right? I wouldn't hold my breath, but you never know, right? What do they say? You can't win if you don't play. But I'd rather take matters into my own hands and win that way. Emmy Dahl says, this goes for self-talk too. Positivity or negativity. What you think you will become. So stay positive. Oh, I can't like that enough. That is so true. And my wife, who is my source of insight on all of this kind of stuff because she's a social psychologist, a lot of what I teach you guys, I learned from her. And it's so true. Your self-talk is enormous in your success. If you say, I can't do a thing, then chances are you probably won't be able to do that thing. If you say you can, then your chances go way up. So beautifully put. There's Dennis in Pasadena. Bob says, I just can't picture you on a skateboard. Interesting. Okay, well, you probably don't follow me on social media then. I've got plenty of stuff of me skating on social media. Jason says, yes, this lesson is 100%. Obsession is the price of success. Yep, that's true. You have to be fully consumed for this to work. I see it all the time. I see people who kind of just nibble around the edges and they eventually just kind of fall away because they don't dedicate themselves 100% to winning. And it goes with anything. And there are people who just kind of dabble here and there, and those are the ones who fall away. But the ones who dive in head first and consume all the content and learn as much as they can from whoever they can, those are the people who will win. Which is why we on this channel try to give you as much, of those little nuggets of things that will help you in your career. I mean, that's why I say that this channel is the number one channel, because there's something like 1,500 videos covering all the bases in voiceover, going all the way back from when Bill started this thing. And there is just an enormous amount of content on this channel that you can learn for free, by the way. It's not always an upsell, but it's lots of stuff for free, and it's all good. There's Sean from Longview and Wayne from Port Orchard. Mommy Motivation says, "What about AI?" Well, what about AI? I'm not sure what you are asking there. What about AI? Tracy says, "Good morning from Rochester, Minnesota. Works good with micro steps." Yep, a little bite at a time. Remember the March 4th? March 4th, every little bit. It can be just a little piece here and a piece there. I think somebody said, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." Callie says, "Where attention goes, energy flows." Man, you guys have got some good quotes or some good comments. Yep, where attention goes, energy flows. There's Tim from Altoona. Mommy Motivation says, "Are we being realistic?" I still don't understand what you're asking here or telling. Be a little bit more specific. Happy to address it. I just don't know kind of where you're headed there. Andrew says, "Someone said on what you focus on grows." Yeah. In fact, there's kind of 3 different sayings about that. What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. What you focus on seems real, and what you focus on, you eventually become. Those are kind of the steps there that you can apply to get to where you wanna be. I don't care what it is. Those things still work. Stella from Australia. Becky says, "Afternoon lunch with VO friends on the porch in Michigan." Very nice. Yes, always. I mean, especially now when it's springtime, hopefully it's springtime where you are. Um, Take some time to get out in the sunshine and just kind of, I do that every day for lunch. I go out, I sit on the back patio and just relax a little bit, just absorb some energy from Earth's yellow sun, like Kal-El, and get back into the booth after lunch for round 2. Adrian says, "Howdy from Sweet Home, Alabama." I lived in Alabama for quite some time, actually. Born and raised in Tennessee, then moved to Alabama in the middle of 10th grade, and that's where I graduated from high school and still have tons and tons of friends there. JR says, "Good morning from Austin, Texas." There's Bruce from Port Richey, Florida. Tim says, "I can picture myself on a skateboard, but it ain't pretty." Well, you never know. Never know until you try. Once again, I wasn't good when I started either, you know? Everything takes practice, but it takes getting back up from falling down. I don't care if it's skateboarding or voiceover or whatever. You gotta take the hits, and if you can take the hits and continue to move forward, that is what separates, uh, people who win from people who don't. Sarah says, "I needed this golden nugget of wisdom this morning. Thanks." You're welcome, Sarah. Huh. Mr. Gametastic says, "I also got good quotes, the voiceover blueprint. What you focus on, you find, and your voice aged like fine wine." Very nice. I like that. David says, "Hello from Hamilton, Ontario." Johnny says, last second, checking in from Florida. Andrew said, like the little locomotive who say, I think I can, I think it can. And then he could tame the mountain. Yep, that's true. I think it can, I think it can. And then, of course, at one point, you'll be like, I know I can because you're doing it. Karma says, good afternoon from Gainesville, Florida. Struggling with learning Audacity, but still hanging in there. Audacity is interesting. I mean, it's a, you know, it's free and you kind of get what you pay for there, but it is it is it's kind of a stripped down DAW. So one of the things that actually that Alex DeWeese, who is our one of our audio engineers in the voiceover blueprint and who teaches our Tuesday night tech class, he is working on a little step-by-step tutorial on Audacity, kind of, how the basics of recording in Audacity and recording in multi-track in Audacity. He's working on that as we speak, so that'll be added to the blueprint very soon. But if you just search YouTube, there are a ton of how-to tutorials on how to get started in Audacity. Most people will start with Audacity and then eventually graduate to a more robust DAW like Audition or Reaper or something like that. But Audacity is fine. I do know people who are full-time voice talent who still use Audacity, so totally cool. Tim says, at 62, I ain't getting back up. I guess you mean on a skateboard. Yeah, well, I know plenty of people who are in their 60s who still do it. Callie says, there's also the saying that you are the 5 people you spend time with. So true. Yep. Your thoughts and beliefs start to match each other. So make it count in a positive way. You know what? Callie, you must have some sixth sense because I'm going to talk about something like that tomorrow. That's my topic for tomorrow. So keep stay tuned because tomorrow we're going to talk about that kind of thing. Jonathan says success is a mindset. Focus, determination, and commitment will get you there. Absolutely. Romiox Gaming says hello and namaste, sir, and everyone from India. Marlene says hello good morning from Fresno, California. I saw your skate promo. Looking forward to it. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Skate promo. Oh, I think you meant my movie. Yeah, I'm producing a documentary on skateboarding in Tennessee, and yeah, I think that's what you meant. But yes, that's coming soon. We are doing a theatrical premiere in June for that. All right. Andrew says, Les Brown says, we all have comeback power to stand up 8 times when you have fallen. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, when you have fallen 7. Yep, that's right. Where did I see that recently? Maybe that's somebody in here mentioned that. But yes, keep getting up. Keep getting up. Edwin says, what a Reaper as a DAW. I'm not sure what you're asking there, but Reaper is a DAW. I believe it was created specifically for voiceover, if I'm not mistaken. I've never used it. I know people who have. But yeah, that's one of several out there that plenty of people use for voiceover. There's John from Atlanta. Oh, come to visit Neckett says, what do you think about starting with no payment voiceovers? I think what you meant is just giving them out for free. I would advise against that. If you're good at something, find a way to get paid to do it. I mean, maybe doing something for a nonprofit or something might help you out here and there, but No, I'm not a big fan of giving away my work. Remember, we've talked about this before several weeks ago, maybe. The 3 T's: time, training, and talent. Those are the 3 T's of, um, being, of knowing your worth and justifying what you charge for your work. Time, training, and talent. You're not just charging people for the time that you're in the chair. You're charging them for the time you spent in the chair, of course, the time you spent training for doing what you're doing, and of course your talent that you've developed over probably years. So that's what you use to do that. Edwin says hello from Charlotte. And bathe in the sun because you got to shine in the dark places for yourself and others. Ooh, that's good. I like that. Sean says, how many times do you get up? Always one more time. Yeah, I guess it's 14 broken bones that I've had over the course of my skateboarding career will attest to that. Because I keep getting up and keep getting out there. In fact, I'm going to go skate later today. JJ says, I always think that a flashlight won't burn through anything, but focus light with a laser can cut through steel. Concentrated energy. Love that. Stella says, free stuff cheapens the whole industry too. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. So definitely do not give away your hard-earned talent, time, and training. Mr. Gametastic says, do you think there will be a voice actor or actress who exists who have done voices in literally all languages for movies, games, or animated things over voice over dub? No, I don't. Andre says hello from Ecuador in Latin America. Dennis says, if you work with nonprofits, doesn't that help you get heard by many people and that may not have had the opportunity otherwise? Maybe, but a lot of people will say, you'll get a lot of exposure, if you do something for free. Well, exposure doesn't pay the rent. So, you know, if you want to do it, fine, but it's not something that I would ever suggest anyone do as far as doing free work. Just, just don't think it works. At least not for me. I got bills to pay, so I need to get paid for what I do. Johnny says, "What's the most important step one can take? The next one." Very nice. I love that. You guys are full of the good stuff today. Johnny also says nonprofits doesn't mean non-moneyed. Moneyed. A nonprofit could have money to spend on your services. Absolutely. Yeah. It just means that they don't show a profit. They collect money and then they spend that money on the things that they do for their services and stuff. So yeah, part of that is maybe they're doing a PSA. That doesn't mean you need to give your services away for free. They can pay you for that. They're just not making a profit on it. Hence the nonprofit. It's Terry from Falston, Maryland. Great subject today. Your thought process controls your results. Yep. By the way, that's a good, okay. Your thought processes control your results. Do you guys say processes or processes? That's a good question. Processes or processes? The correct pronunciation is processes. Just kind of like it's the plural of process, right? Processes. Same thing with the analysis. The plural of that is analyses, not analysises, right? Analyses, processes. I've actually had people who I've done voiceovers for where I've said it that way, processes. They come back and they say, "Why'd you say it like that? That's not right." Yes, it is. Exposure might help with your portfolio and future work, though. Yeah, I don't know about that. Um, yeah. For instance, I did a PSA for a company called Recycling. And it was actually the one that I won that Telly Award for. And they paid me for it because they were a nonprofit and it was a PSA, but they still paid me for it. I'm glad they did. And I'm glad I did that job because, like I said, it got that Telly Award, which is nice. Romeox Gaming, our Q&A is on Friday. I know you've got lots of questions. Save those for Friday because that's our open Q&A day. So let's just save those for that. A Simple Tailor says, I've used Audacity for a while and it's an effective DAW, but want to upgrade. Would Reaper or Audition be a better choice? Well, I'm always going to be, Adobe Audition is near and dear to my heart. I've used it for years. I think it's the gold standard as far as voiceover goes. I think if you were to, you know, poll all voiceover talent across the world, Adobe Audition is probably the one that most people use. It's very, very powerful, but very user friendly, which is why I think a lot of people use it. It's also not that expensive. It's like 20 bucks a month, which that's nothing. Bob says, whoever's looking at you sees you as a professional. Don't give away the secret. When you give something away for free, you create a market for it. That's it. That is it. Huh. Edwin says, the great debate between soda or pop, which we know is soda. Yeah. Uh, I used to I grew up in Tennessee, and down there, we just said Coke, even though it was no matter what it was just like, "Oh, I wanna go get a Coke." And, yeah, we never said soda or pop. But since I've moved and I've kind of settled on soda at this point. There's Steven from Atlanta. Ooh, that's a good one. 8-Bit Snoop says, "Don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes through its pages." Yep. Stella says, exposure through free stuff tells clients you're happy to work for free, in my opinion. Same with playing live music. Yep. It does kinda it sets a little bit of a benchmark or a standard. The next time they may want the same thing for free for, for something else, and you're setting yourself up for not much later. Terry says, "I've been paid for all my PSA work. It's one of the spokes in my marketing wheel. I've got a number of repeat clients." There you go. Just because they're a nonprofit doesn't mean that they can't afford to pay you. Johnny says, "Coke Life." All right, guys. Well, I've got a day ahead, so I'm gonna get working. Once again, link in the description for Amy's class on pay to plays. She's going to edify us all on how to win on the pay to play space. And yes, cannot wait for that class. Of all the classes that I've been a part of and in the blueprint, this is the one that I think for myself personally is going to be a game changer. I really, even just chatting with her about what she's going to talk about, I'm already starting to kinda sway a little bit towards the pay to play side of things, but I think she's gonna be able to really sway some opinions, so can't wait for it. A week from yesterday, link in the description. I will talk to you all here tomorrow, and until then, break a lip.